So this practice amp in my hand looks great, it feels sturdy, it's put together very nicely, and it's obviously very portable. And the price of this amp is very budget friendly. But to me, one of the most important things about an amp is how it sounds and performs. And in this video today, we're going to find out, so stick around. Well, hello everybody, I'm Damian Bacci and welcome to my back room here in sunny Tampa Bay, Florida. Now last month, Donna had contacted me and asked me if I was interested in checking out any of their guitars or gear. And as I was looking around their website, I stumbled upon the M-10 amplifier. And I said to myself, well, that looks kind of interesting. And so a few weeks later, this ended up on my doorstep. So a big thanks to Donna for sending me this amp. We're gonna unbox this thing. We're gonna talk about some of the details and specifications of the amp. And I'm also gonna take this on a little test drive. We're gonna see how this thing handles rockabilly, jazz, and some bluesy playing. So if you like playing any of those styles that I mentioned, this review is gonna be very beneficial to you, I think. So let's get this box open real quick and take a look at it. Okay, it's got some nice, sturdy packaging going on. All right. Now I believe this amp has only been around for about 5 or 6 months now, so it's fairly new. Well, okay, so I like the way this amp looks. It's definitely very retro looking. It's got a Fender look to it. Got the logo kind of slanted and placed just like where Fender would put their logo on their amps. Now, if you get a good look at the front of the amp here, it kind of looks like a mini version of a Fender Bassman speaker cabinet, doesn't it? Or any of the other extension cabinets for Fender amps. But that's kind of cool. And just like those Fender cabinets, it's covered with black Tolex here. It's got metal cabinet corners. I like that, it's a nice touch. They easily could have not put anything on here, or they could have put plastic corners on here, but you can tell that they're going for that 1960s Fender look. And let's talk about this grill cloth right here. It looks very nice. It's got a lot of tension on it, not saggy at all. It's got a nice little handle, but if you've got huge hands, you may find it hard to grip. And as you can see here, it has the chicken head style knobs. Now it has bass and treble here. Here's the master volume. Here's your drive. Here's the input for your smartphone or tablet, the instrument input. And over here, here's the auxiliary input for your media player. Right here is your headphones output. And one of the really cool features of this app input right here is that it allows you to plug in your phone and use one of your guitar amp simulation apps, and that will control what comes out of the amp. And you can use GarageBand, Amplitude, AmpKit, ToneBridge, or whichever amp sim that you prefer. Now, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that this is a very budget-friendly amp. I went to the Donner website and found that this amp sells for $75.99 with free shipping. I also looked it up on Amazon and eBay and found it selling for around the same price point as well with free shipping. I mean, $75 to $80 is not a whole lot of money. It's not gonna break the bank, if you will. But the big question is this amp worth it? Or is it better to save some of your money and save up a little more and buy something a little more expensive? Well, we're gonna find out hopefully by the end of this video. Now this amp is not heavy at all. It weighs in at a whopping 10.96 pounds. And let's take the back off here and take a look inside. And here's a look inside. You can see the 5-inch speaker there, and here's the inner workings of the amp. Okay, so let's hear how the M-10 amplifier sounds. First, I'll play some stuff with the guitar plugged into it directly, and then we'll see how it handles pedals, and finally, we'll see how the amp sounds using a guitar amp sim from my phone. Now, at times, the audio that you'll be hearing is going to be coming straight from my camera, and at other times, I'm going to have an SM57 right up to the speaker of the amp going into my digital audio workstation. Huh? Well, all right, wackadoo, I'm all plugged in. Let's see how this portable, budget-friendly practice amp sounds.
One, two, three, and
Okay, so let's see how the amp performs with some pedals. Here I'm going to plug in my Boss DD3 digital delay pedal, and let's see how it sounds. Okay, so now I have the Analog Alien Rumble Seat in my hand, and I'm only going to use the reverb section. And let's see how the Donner sounds with just the reverb on. And now I'm going to go over to the amp and switch on the overdrive, and I'm going to put on just a teeny bit of overdrive. Alright, so now I'm going to play some jump blues. I've got one of my favorite pedals here, this Boss FRV1 63 Fender reverb pedal. Let's plug it in and let's see how this amp does. 1, 2, 3, and... So now let me plug in my phone into the amp, and let's see how a guitar amp simulation sounds on this thing. I just put Amp Kit onto the phone. I'm going to be using the free version, and the free version comes with a PV Valve King amp. Now I'm not going to mess around with it or anything or tweak it. I'm just going to play it as is, and let's see how it sounds. I like how this sounds already. 1, 2, 3, and... Well, alright, what'd you think of the Donner M-10 amp? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. So as promised, I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on this amp. I'm going to run through some quick pros and cons for you. So this is not the best practice amp that I've ever played, but it's certainly not the worst either. And for around $80 with free shipping, I think it does a great job for the amount of money that you're spending. It's certainly adequate, and I think the real strength of this amplifier is that you have that ability to plug in your amp sim from your phone. Because when you're using one of those, you can get some great customization going on, you can get some great tones, and I think that's where this thing shines. And the key thing to remember here is that it's a practice amp. It's very small, and you're not going to be able to use this at your band practice. Now I tried cranking this amp up all the way, and it topped off at around 85 dBs. Now the amp sounds pretty good when it's not too loud, but when you start to turn it up, getting close to all the way, it starts to muffle out. There is definitely a sweet spot that you want to hit that you don't want to go over, because when you do, it does start to muffle out a bit. Now something that I really wish that this amp had was some sort of digital reverb. I always feel that a little bit of reverb helps a dry sounding practice amp sound a little bit better. Now with that being said, I think the majority of people are going to be using an amp sim on this, and with that you're going to have all kinds of things at your disposal like reverb, delay, anything you want, so that's probably their thought process in not having a reverb. And of course you can use a reverb pedal, and this amp did take pedals very well. So I think that the build quality is very good. It certainly has a very retro attractive look to it. It's very portable, as you can see. It's great for bedroom practice, or if you live in a small apartment, or if you're a college student living in a dorm room. And actually my daughter's learning how to play guitar right now, and she's taking a kind liking to the amp. So what I'm gonna do is just end up giving this to her. She's digging it. It's very simple and easy for her to use. Now in the description below is a link to where you can buy this amp on Amazon. Now, I had a lot of fun today playing the guitar in this demo and this little review. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out this channel. And if you happen to dig the licks that I was playing today in this video, you'll definitely want to check out my YouTube channel. I have over 200 free guitar lessons on rockabilly, jump blues, and jazz. And friends, if you're hungry for more rockabilly and jump blues guitar lessons, I'd like to encourage you to pick up my full-length courses on rockabilly guitar and on jump blues guitar. These courses are available at my website. You can get these as downloads or as DVDs. Now friends, before I go, I'd like to leave you with some inspiring words. Your past is where you learn the lesson. The future is where you apply the lesson. Don't ever let your past destroy your future, because the past is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. And with that, friends, I'm gonna say goodbye to you. Much love to everybody out there. Stay safe, and I'll see everybody in another guitar lesson real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.